Hi everyone, welcome to IGCSE Study Room where you can revise biology topics from the Cambridge IGCSE syllabus. If you are enjoying these videos so far, please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. This video summarizes part 2 of chapter 9, Transport in Animals. In the previous video, we spoke about the heart. Now, let's learn about blood vessels. Blood vessels are tubes through which the blood circulates in the body. There are three types of blood vessels: arteries, veins, and capillaries. Let's dive into the structure of arteries. Arteries carry blood away from the heart. They carry oxygenated blood except for the pulmonary artery. Blood flows very fast in arteries. They have thick muscular walls to withstand blood being carried at high pressures. The walls of arteries also have elastic fibers so that they can stretch when the blood passes through. The lumen is the inside space of the artery. They have a narrow lumen to maintain high blood pressure. They don't have valves since high blood pressures prevent backflow. So, once again, arteries carry blood away from the heart. They carry oxygenated blood except for the pulmonary artery. Blood flows fast in arteries. They have thick muscular walls to withstand blood being carried at high pressures. Artery walls have elastic fibers. They have a narrow lumen and there are no valves in the arteries. Now, let's look at the structure of veins. Veins carry blood towards the heart. They carry deoxygenated blood except for the pulmonary vein. Blood flows slowly in veins. They have thin muscular walls. Thick muscles are not required since blood is carried at low pressure. The walls of veins have little elastic fibers since not much is required for the low blood pressure. Veins have large lumen. Valves are present in veins to prevent blood backflow. One more time. Veins carry blood towards the heart. They carry deoxygenated blood except for the pulmonary vein. Blood flows slow in veins. They have thin muscular walls with little elastic fibers. They have a large lumen and walls are present in veins. Now, let's compare an artery to a vein. An artery has thicker muscular walls with elastic fibers, while a vein has thinner walls. The lumen in an artery is also narrower than that of a vein. Also, valves are present in veins unlike arteries. Next, let's learn about the function of capillaries. Capillaries are the smallest of blood vessels that connect arteries and veins. Capillaries carry blood to and from the body's cells. The role of capillaries is to provide an exchange of oxygen, nutrients, and waste products between the blood and the body's cells. So, capillaries supply all cells with their requirements and take away their waste products. The structure of capillaries makes them very well suited for this function. as capillaries are only one cell thick and have very thin permeable walls. This means that substances can diffuse out of them very easily. Fluid leaks out of the capillaries and bathes the surrounding cells. This is called tissue fluid. Useful substances such as oxygen and food diffuse out of the blood in the capillaries into the tissue fluid where it is taken to the cells. Waste products such as carbon dioxide diffuse from the body cells into the tissue fluid and are reabsorbed back into the blood in capillaries. Next, let's learn about the structure of capillaries. Capillaries are the smallest of blood vessels that connect arteries and veins. Capillaries carry both oxygenated and deoxygenated blood. Arteries divide further into narrower vessels called arterioles, which connect to the capillaries. Veins also divide further into narrower vessels called venules, which connect to the capillaries. Blood flows slowly in capillaries at low pressure. The capillary walls are one cell thick. This means that substances can diffuse in and out of them very easily. They have a very narrow lumen, just wide enough for a red blood cell to pass through. Capillaries do not have valves. Capillaries have very thin permeable walls, and this means that substances can diffuse in and out of them very easily. It also means that blood plasma can leak out and form tissue fluid at the surrounding body cells, thereby providing a medium for the substances to diffuse in. Once again, capillaries carry both oxygenated and deoxygenated blood. Blood flows slowly in capillaries. They have very thin walls, just one cell thick. They have a very narrow lumen. There are no valves in capillaries and they have very thin permeable walls. You are expected to identify in diagrams and images the main blood vessels to and from the heart, lungs, kidneys, and liver. A quick reminder: blood is carried away from the heart in arteries and toward the heart in veins. The vena cava brings deoxygenated blood from the body to the heart. The aorta carries oxygenated blood away from the heart to the body. The pulmonary artery carries deoxygenated blood away from the heart to the lungs. The pulmonary vein carries oxygenated blood to the heart from the lungs. The renal artery carries oxygenated blood from the heart to the kidneys. The renal vein carries deoxygenated blood from the kidneys to the heart. The hepatic artery brings oxygenated blood from the heart to the liver. The hepatic vein brings deoxygenated blood from the liver back to the heart. The hepatic portal vein transports deoxygenated blood from the digestive tract to the liver. Moving on to blood. The components of blood are red blood cells, white blood cells, platelets, and plasma. Red blood cells have a round, flat shape like a donut with an indentation in the center, but not a hole. This is called a biconcave disc shape. Red blood cells don't have a nucleus, so as you can see in the photo micrograph, the circular shaped cells with the solid color will be the red blood cells. White blood cells, on the other hand, are larger cells with a big nucleus, so on the photomicrograph, you may notice these cells distinctly because of their big nuclei. Next, let's learn about the function of the components of the blood. Red blood cells transport oxygen. Red blood cells contain a protein called hemoglobin which binds to oxygen, allowing it to be transported around the body to cells. White blood cells defend the body against infections. They fight off infections by carrying out phagocytosis and antibody production. Platelets helps in blood clotting. Plasma transport blood cells, ions, nutrients, urea, hormones and carbon dioxide. There are two main types of white blood cells, phagocytes and lymphocytes. Phagocytes engulf pathogens by a process called phagocytosis. So, basically, when a phagocyte comes across a germ or a pathogen, it engulfs or surrounds it completely, taking it inwards. Then, it releases digestive enzymes on it, which digest the pathogen and destroys it. A lymphocyte is a type of white blood cell that produces antibodies to attack and destroy pathogens. You will also be expected to identify phagocytes and lymphocytes in photomicrographs and diagrams. Phagocytes have a lobed nucleus and granular cytoplasm, while lymphocytes have a large round nucleus and clear non-granular cytoplasm. Finally, let's talk about blood clotting. When an injury takes place, platelets help prevent blood loss by forming blood clots. Platelets are fragments of cells present in the blood. The platelets clamp together and form a plug to stop the bleeding. This block at the cut also prevents pathogens from entering the blood vessels. So, during the blood clotting process, the protein fibrinogen is converted to fibrin, an insoluble protein, to form a mesh. More platelets stick to this mesh, forming a scab and thereby preventing bleeding by blocking the cut. So, that concludes part 2 of chapter 9, Transport in Animals. Hope this video helped you. Thank you for watching and please don't forget to subscribe to IGCSE Study Room for more biology revision videos.